Hey everyone, Jody from Bird Dog Off-Road Adventures here. Today we're going to show you guys our brand new CSF high performance all aluminum radiator for the new Ford Broncos. Stay tuned. So inevitably some of you guys may be asking, is this needed? So this is the way we look at it. If you're driving a stock Bronco or very slightly modded Bronco, this may be overkill. I think the Ford factory engine setup, tires, everything, gearing, all that should be sufficed in most situations. But in our case, we pretty much what I would consider to have a highly modified Bronco. We have lower gears, we have way larger tires, as well as, the roof rack and other stuff, that adds more weight. So we feel that it would be beneficial for us, especially living in the Southwest in Phoenix area, which gets 115 degrees or more in the summer. Some of the reasons that prompted this, well, last year when we were near Ouray, we only had 37s in. We noticed that we almost overheated coming out I-70 back towards Denver. Now, granted, that's a pretty extreme situation. But even coming in and out of Flagstaff from here, we've noticed that our engine temperature gauge gets a little high for our comfort levels in the 240, mid 240s. I think it's even hit 250 at one point. So we thought, you know what, this might not be a bad investment for us. Like I said, for some other people, it may be overkill, but you can make that judgment. If you're one of these people who'd like to just be rather safe than sorry, there's nothing wrong with getting one. Something else that we have coming as well, we ordered this back in May, was a CPE intercooler. That has yet to arrive. I reached out to Panda Works, who we ordered it from, this past week, and supposedly it should ship any day. We're going to give them another week or two, and if it doesn't ship, we'll cancel our order and probably go with another unit. But I just want to kind of throw that out there. So yeah, some people may say, it's overkill. You don't need that. You ain't, unless you're overheating. I'm like, well, yeah, for some people it may be. I'll agree to that. But like I said, it's your money, it's your car, do what you want. That's my motto. So anyway, we're doing what we want. So hope you guys enjoy this video. We'll try to do as good as we can. All right, newest edition, whole new radiator. Man, this thing looks nice. CSF, picked it up from our friends at Foray down here in Phoenix. Looks pretty freaking sweet, guys. All aluminum construction, so supposed to be a direct swap, so we'll see. We'll get it put in soon enough. That's awesome. All right, so game plan on this. We're going to take this radiator cover off using these trim tool piece remover. We have bolts under here. Take the grill itself off, and then there's a shutter. You can't really see it with the grill on, but we'll show it to you here in a little bit. Those of you who've had your grill off know exactly what I'm talking about. And you got to use some more bolts to take it off. And basically that exposes the air condenser and the radiator. So that way we can disconnect all that stuff. We can go ahead and drain the radiator, and then we'll be ready to go. Alright, so now we got to get this shroud piece off. And we got to get the headlights off. So we bought some new headlights anyway. So we're getting rid of the Morimotos and going with Alpharex. So we're going to take these old Morimotos off. Then we'll replace them with the Alpharex, the new ones. We'll do that while we do this project. But and we got video on that, how to replace headlights for the Morimoto. I'll put a link in that below. But you got several bolts here you have to go through to take the shroud off. We took this off once before. You can see here we removed some shutters and we cut some line out. And that was to try, we tried out one of those ACE adaptive cruise control relocation kits. I think it was some DV8. We didn't really have good luck with it, so we took it out and we upgraded to the JCR bumper. But anyway, so we got to take all this shroud. That we'll try to take this piece down here loose too. And once we get all that done, we should have easier access to the radiator / condenser, and we can start trying to figure out how we're going to take all that stuff out. So hang tight. All right, so you see this piece here. This is the shroud piece I showed you earlier. Now, there's 4 bolts at the top, but there's 2 down here. There's 1 on each side here and 1 down there. So you'll have those bolts right there. You'll notice I'm keeping my bolts organized so I don't mix them up. But those 4 silver bolts, you have 2 of those on each side down here at the bottom, and then you have the black bolts going in top near where the radiator is. So then after that, you just kind of finagle this thing out, and it'll come right on out. So I'm learning as I go here, so just bear with me. All these plugs that go into your electric fan shroud, I unplugged, and I popped these little Christmas tree things out along the way, so I could take this and just kind of lay it back here for right now. There are 2 bolts, and they're little teeny tiny screws right here. And this one's kind of hard to get to because of this piece. You have to like snake your wrench into here. It screws into the radiator bracket right there where my finger is. So that side and that side. And after that, I may not be able to do this one-handed if I could do it with 2 hands. You can pretty much lift the radiator, the fan shroud up some. I don't know about taking it all the way out because I don't know about getting it back in there. But you can pretty much slide it up and probably even get it out of the way. So we'll try to get that done and we'll go from there. You can see here's a radiator, the AC condenser, sandwich right in front of it. So it's going to be interesting to see how snug this fit is once we get the new radiator in, which is slightly wide. Not going to lie, this thing was a little bitch to turn, so I hate that's hitting that. It's going to make a mess, unfortunately, because I have a bigger pan. It's hitting that shock. I probably should have took that shock off. So if you're doing this, you have a shock mount right there, take it off first. But you have to screw this thing pretty far, and it's a bill bitch to turn. So I had to get some pliers to get it started. So yeah. So then I'm gonna have to clean this up. I'm gonna make sure no animals are able to get it. My dog's gonna come out here, but still, I don't want any stray animals to get hurt. So one of the things we may have forgot to mention, we use a pair of these just regular old pliers to get that top hose off that goes all the way over to the coolant container or coolant filament. But yeah, you just use these pliers, take that top hose off, and just pull it off before you take out the radiator. So I don't know, that's not a lot of coolant, so I'm not sure. Maybe some of that shit's still in the engine. I don't know, it's kind of weird. So anyway, to get this upper hose over here, you need to get you a pick tool so you can grab this little wire in here and get it to come up. As you can see right here, you can pull it up, you know, and that releases it off there. So we'll just kind of set this up to the side for now. We got to do one on the other side too, and then after that we should be able to get this thing out. And then to get that out, I also had to use a pry bar just to kind of carefully wedge up against the edge of it to pop it loose from that connection down there. All right, after much finagling, we got this fan shroud out, which I do highly recommend. As I said, if you're replacing these pipes, if you get one of these kits that comes with these new pipes here, y'all just go ahead and knock out all that shit out. It makes it a little bit easier to get all this shit out from under, because this is going to be a bitch to get back in, I'm assuming, too. Look how much space you have. Ain't that gorgeous? So we got both hoses disconnected. So now we just got to unbolt this biatch and make sure that we don't screw up our AC condenser while we do it. Get this bolt out here, 13 millimeter socket. So, like I said before, we learn as we go. So we'll have to show you some stuff after the fact. So use a flathead screwdriver, just pry a little bit on these clips, and then with one hand, use the other hand to pull this condenser up, and it pops out of place. So looks like we're doing pretty good getting this up, getting it disconnected from the radiator. Once we get that, we should be able to lift this thing on out. All right, after much finagling, I was able to get the stock one out. As you can see, there's a pretty significant difference in thickness, so it'll be interesting to see how easily we can get this thing to fit back in. Barely an inch. Yeah, right at an inch. This is an inch and I want to say not 3/4, but 5/8 inch and 5/8. Now that we finally got this thing finagled down in there, we had to put our fan shroud bolts back in. And I'm sorry, my phone overheated, so I had to wait for it to cool down. So it's these 2 bolts for the fan shrouds each side, and these 2 bolts up here for the radiator itself. Now, one of these little cushion things on the passenger side fell out, and I was trying to put the new radiator in, so I had to pick it back up and get it in there. And it's pretty intuitive on how it goes in, so it's kind of hard to mess it up. But anyway, so that's pretty much it. So now we're going to have to bring across this big thing again, put all this stuff back up, hook everything back up wiring wise, and then start just putting everything else back together, and we should be done, people. This was a pretty relatively easy. It took us, so far it's taken us about 2.5 to 3 hours. We're going to say 3-4 hour stall if you've never done this before. But if you're used to doing stuff like this, you could probably knock this out in 2 hours easy. So be mindful of that. You just got to take your time, you know, use your brain. Be gentle when you're trying to move stuff around because it is a tight squeeze. And like I said, if you're in the process of, if you're thinking about changing these pipes up here, now would be the best time to do it because that makes it a lot easier. It gives you a little bit more wiggle room. How about these pipes in here? So. Okay, for coolant, we went with what Ford recommends, yellow pre-diluted antifreeze coolant. 50/50, do not add water. We're in Phoenix, so if we wanted to add water, it probably wouldn't be a bad thing. I also grabbed this water wetter super coolant stuff from Redline. We'll toss that in there as well. I don't know if we'll be able to fit all that in there, but if we don't, we need some more. I got some leftover distilled water from my father-in-law's CPAP. We could possibly put that in there if need be. I don't think we're going to need to, but let's go ahead and get this filled up, and then we'll run it for a bit, see if we have any leaks, and then after that, we should be good to go. All right, as you can see here, we started with the start the truck up here, but you can also see the new headlights, the Alpha Rex Alpha Black Nova series. Replaced the Morimotos. These look really amazing. Of course, you know we went with amber because that's just the way we like to roll. Try to be a mini Raptor. After you got the truck running, cranked it up, turned the heat wide open, as seen in other videos. Could add just a tad bit more after some of this coolant circulated, but other than that is it. All right, everyone, we are done. Got the new headlights in as well from Alpha Rex. Bye-bye, Morimoto. But also, too, got our radiator in, boys and girls. Woo-woo! Can't really see it better than all that crap, but it's there. So, everything's back in the way it came out. And we are ready to roll. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Got more to come. Like and subscribe. Any questions, hit us up in the comments. See you soon.